It's Monday, October 19th. Coming up live on The View. She's been away for way too long, but Elisabeth is finally back to show off her latest arrival, Isaiah, and hit the table for a whole show of hot topics. From Balloon Boy's whirlwind weekend of hot air, to the college crackdown on cross-dressing, to the White House declaring war on Fox News, and why Sherry wants to give Meghan McCain a chest bump in support of her tantalizing tweets. All that and more, coming up live on The View.
I can handle it. Sherry, your breast hit me in the eye.
I was back there. I'm so sorry. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, is that Elisabeth Hasselbeck back?
I love you.
So welcome back. You look terrific.
You look good, too.
What's going on? I'm feeling pretty good. What's going on? What's up with the baby? Let's see the picture. What's happening?
Got a picture. Here's Isaiah. Poor guy. There he is. He's cute, right? I just can't believe I named him Isaiah because he'll never be able to spell his own name, but that's fine.
I know.
He's going to totally fail kindergarten.
How old is he?
He is, I don't know, almost 3 months or so. He's almost 3 months. He's good. That picture is a little bit old. It's maybe a month old or so.
Right.
But
How do you spell Isaiah?
Isaiah. Okay. But I could be wrong. I don't know. He won't know either. But I took this picture in the hospital, and that was before he got a little sick, okay? So we took this photo, and then he got a little sick, so we were back in the hospital for a couple weeks, and then I had this other photo that was so cute, the biggest smile ever, okay? So you know when your baby smiles for the first time? I reached for the iPhone. I had just been feeding him, and I took the photo, and he had this huge, huge smile, and it was the cutest picture, so immediately I forwarded it to everyone in my family distribution list. My mom, my dad, my brother, Tim's dad, his brother, his mom, his other brother. And I send it to myself because I'm on the list. So I get home, after we get home from the hospital, and I open up the photo, see, oh, let's see my cute little guy. Yeah, no wonder why he's smiling, because my nipple is in the photo. Okay?
Are we gonna see it?
No, but don't worry, because awkwardly my father-in-law and my brother-in-laws both saw it too. So this is like really not something you should do. It's worse than drunk dialing. 2 forward pictures, postpartum.
But it's not sexual.
Be careful.
It's not sexual then when you have, a boob in the mouth. It's not.
No, it's just embarrassing when you send it out on a mass email list.
The photo's wrong.
I almost sent it to you guys. And Bill. Not you, Bill.
Yes. No, Bill, you're not getting the picture now. You're not getting it. Now, have you had any rest?
No.
Or are you operating on coffee and just whims of sleep?
Just like...
You can't see the adrenaline she's running on right now.
I'm asking because...
It's total adrenaline and concealer. I'm on like concealer coffee rotation.
We missed you. We've been tweeting that we missed you. And
I haven't tweeted. How's it going?
I know she's totally been inactive on Twitter.
You actually got yourself a life.
I got it. No, I kind of miss it. I think I might tweet today.
Yes,
I don't know
please
for the
come back.
first time, but are you still tweeting?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, how is it going? Good?
Yeah. It's going great.
Yeah.
So, now you making Whoopi still not want to go on there because you stopped.
I did stop. I was whoopy-eyed.
Listen, I'm never going to do it. I'm just never going to do it. It's just that simple. I don't want you to know. There's nothing that you need to know that you can't read about or see about. Any of the other stuff, I'm not going to tell you. It's just the way it is. But the biggest story over the weekend, this is the time I should have been able to get a hold of everybody, was the saga of Balloon Boy. First, the whole country thought they were watching a 6-year-old in a runaway balloon.
Yeah.
Then there were feels that he fell out. Then he was hiding in the attic. Then it started to come out, the whole story. He was in an interview with Wolf Blitzer on Larry King.
Yeah.
With Wolf Blitzer on Larry King.
Right.
And this is what happened.
Why didn't you come out?
You guys said that we did this for the show.
Ooh, now this is when you know, because you know with little kids, you don't tell them anything because they will just go, blah, and put all your business out there. So now everybody's very upset. You know, this was millions of dollars that Colorado spent to try to figure out what was going on. I mean, apparently the Heaney family is no stranger to television. Here's a little bit of their appearance on something called Wife Swap. Take a look.
I'm here for you to understand your kids better.
I understand that you are...
You're not!
Real homes.
I mean, I'm a damn good father, and I'm getting pissed off that this is making me look like I'm pissed.
Real lives.
Your boys are suffered.
I think you're living in a fantasy.
No! I'm talking from my heart!
Real drama.
You're showing that you have no respect for your wife.
You're not my wife. You're a man's nightmare.
You know, and apparently these people...
It's great TV. I love it.
But look, they're really bad. Apparently they met an acting class, the Heens, in Hollywood. But you know what makes me so upset, Whoopi, is the fact that there's a picture of where they thought the little boy, do we have that, fell out of that balloon? And I think everybody, but I'm just speaking as a mother, your heart just went out. People were praying for this family. People were shedding tears because they didn't know if this boy had died. And the fact that you would take America's heartstrings and use us in that way. We could have been praying for the troops, you know, who are over there fighting for our lives.
You wasted your prayers?
Well, he wasn't in the balloon, so I gotta say, yeah, because you know, and the next time, if God forbid something like that happens again, you're gonna have a lot of people going, it's probably for a reality show. You have desensitized us just a little bit by your actions, and that makes me angry that you would use us like that.
You have to give the guy a lot of credit. This is the biggest PR stunt since Liza Minnelli's wedding. I mean, I could not take my eyes off of that flying Jiffy Pop thing that was going, and it was so, like, the entire news agencies were on it.
$14,000 for 2 planes.
Let me ask you a question. I just have a dumb question, and maybe I missed it because I wasn't glued to the television. I actually was trying to, you know, have an operation on my earlobe.
To keep the earrings in?
Yeah, to keep the earrings in. The weight of that little boy...
37 pounds, I think.
37 pounds. How much weight could that thing have carried?
They had a scientist say that balloon would have never gone up in the air with the weight.
I just wondered why nobody said, well, how much does the child weigh? Or what's going on?
When you get a 911 call,
they're filing charges against them, number one.
Well,
and yes, they are, because they have to. I mean, you can't do that.
When you get a call and you got a mother who's screaming, I don't think people stop to go, well, how could, you know, it's in our hearts. We respond.
I think if you're watching television, but see, we have gotten enough information from our reality television stars to know that sometimes when we see stuff on TV, it might be cock-a-boo-boo.
But that's what I'm saying. Now, if something like this happens, we don't viscerally respond. We might not like we would have with this, because normally when a mother calls and says, I'm in trouble, something's happened to my child.
Right.
You're normally...
But she didn't call us. She called the police. What I'm saying is, when the cops and everybody started this thing, because, I mean, let's face it, as Joy made the joke, but she's absolutely right. It was good television, and that's why they made the heartstrings pull.
That's right.
Because
this is what we've been...
I'm sorry, go ahead, baby.
I just keep thinking, this is sort of what we deserve in a way, because we've been looking at these shows for a long time. Go back to Punk'd, okay, when it was a good time. But where's the line? Where is it a good time, and then where is it something like this? Maybe this is drawing the line for the first time. But we've been laughing at these shows for 5 years.
How vulnerable we are to a hoax.
And the lens that people will
don't know when it's real, when it's really a terrorist attack, or when it's not. We're not sure now.
But it used to be when you
tricks that TV plays on you.
When you wanted to get a reality show before, you used to be able to go to a network and go, I just want to do a reality show, be about me and my husband. Now it just shows you the lens that people will go to.
You want to be famous.
This is a guy who's 48 years old. He really doesn't have a gig. He's looking for a gig. That's what he's doing here. And he might get one. He might get one.
I'm not going to support him. And I think
you don't have to support him.
There's plenty of folks out there.
I mean, Bravo will give him a show, and all those other networks.
Bravo probably won't, because he's a bonehead.
Was there a full-on rescue operation for this? Did it cost anything? That's what I'd like to know.
It was $14,500 just for the 2 planes.
For that. They should have to eat the cost.
He lays tiles. He can't pay that money back.
Well, you never know about what gets laid. But this is another question. A Louisiana justice of the peace, Ken Bardwell, refused to marry an interracial couple, and he's standing by his decision, saying he knows in his heart he hasn't done wrong. He's not a racist. His main concern was for the children that might be born.
You know, they might turn out to be Barack Obama or Tiger Woods for all he knows. What an idiot.
Right. I mean, no, look, what is it? Didn't Governor Jindal, Bobby Jindal, actually called for his dismissal? And, I mean, the guy should be absolutely removed. He has no place to be in a
He's worried about an
position to make
interracial child. I mean, come into the 21st century.
Absolutely.
You know, most people are not white anymore. The world is turning and changing. There's a lot of interracial mixes going on. Would he say that I could not be with a Jewish guy because I'm Gentile?
Absolutely,
Would he say that Hawaiians who are very mixed breeds could not marry another guy who's Caucasian? Ridiculous.
And oftentimes, children are the ones that will bring people around. My girlfriend is biracial. Her mother is black and her father's white. And her grandparents were racist. And when they were born, it brought those grandparents around. They are so close to her mother, who is black, because of the children that were born from this marriage. So
sometimes it goes the other way, too, though, right? I mean, that's a great story.
But that's not on him to say what's going to happen in the future.
The guy's out of his mind to even suggest something like that.
Well, he honestly believes that there is something wrong with it. The unfortunate part is, you know, if you continue to do your job as justice of the peace, I don't think you're supposed to be able to turn people away unless they're underage. I didn't know you could turn someone away from marrying them.
Isn't it similar to the idea of a pharmacist who can turn away people who want to buy birth control medications?
Like their morality clause?
I'm not sure what the law is, but I think that they have the right to say, I'm not going to do it.
As long as there's someone else there who can distribute.
I don't know if the justice of the peace has the same legal right to do that. I'm not sure, but we'll look up. You know, Irish tenor, talking about race and stuff, Irish tenor Ronan Tynan sings God Bless America at Yankee games, and really well. And when a real estate agent assured him a woman looking for an apartment in his building wasn't a Red Sox fan, he shot back, quote, as long as they're not Jewish. He has since apologized for his attempt at humor.
Hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's like, you know, he should try a joke like I should sing the Star Spangled Banner. It's like, you know, it's not funny, it's stupid. But I don't know, he just was, it's lame.
When I was a legal secretary, I remember I answered the phone. We had a guy who fixed our computers, and he never knew what I looked like. And I remember I was talking, we had a great relationship. I would talk to him on the phone all the time. And he said to me, I'm running late for the appointment. He said, I had some N-words that I had to deal with, and they were late. He said that to me, and he said, I'm running late. And I remember, it was my first job as a legal secretary. I was so shocked that he would say this to me on the phone. Then when he walked in and he saw me, I remember he turned bright red. And thankfully, my bosses, they fired him. You know, they fired him when I told them. But the fact that it's just ignorance.
You know, I have a funny story I could tell about this. When I was working at the Employment Service many years ago, I was a counselor, an employment counselor in one of my previous lives. So I was getting jobs for people who were pressers in the apparel industry. So this old Jewish guy who ran a factory calls me up. He says to me, Joy, send me a presser. He should be Jewish. I said, listen, I can't do that, okay? It's against the law. So now comes in a guy, a black Ethiopian guy. Well, that's redundant. He was black. And his name was Israel Cohen. And he's a great presser. So I call up the guy and I say, guess I got a presser for you. What's his name? I said, Israel Cohen. Send him right down. So he went down, and he calls me up and he says, he was fantastic. Thank you for sending him. So, you see, there are ways to deal with prejudice and racial issues in different ways.
People always have to remember that someone's name does not describe the person that they are. You never know who's going to come walking through your door. And so you better deal with them as an individual and not as a race or agenda. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to walk away from you all as a group. But we will all come back with more hot topics.
I've been wanting to tell Barbara something for years, and I finally got to tell her on the air that she gave me a fabulous gift by this book she'd written. Anyway, I think I did okay. What do you think?
Hey guys, so it was a question about am I going to be on the next Sex and the City movie, and I'm going on the set as we speak in New York City. No, I'm not going to be on the movie, but I'm going to see all my friends over there. Can't wait to see what they're doing.
Meghan McCain is considering deleting her Twitter account, calling it, quote, a vessel for harassment after she posted this photograph, which she says she just took hanging around her house.
You go, girl. You look great.
Well, that's hanging around the house, all right. But I mean, it's definitely. Look, I mean, it's. I'm the one who just forwarded a photo with my own nipples, so I feel like this is right up that alley.
They are so big, I bet Sarah Palin can see them from her porch.
Is that welcoming Lizzie back? Elizabeth back.
I missed you, Elizabeth.
Sorry, was there just a Sarah Palin joke? I'm sleeping with my eyes open.
We haven't done any Sarah Palin jokes since you've been gone.
I don't believe you.
You know what? Meghan McCain, people give her so much flack. She wrote an article on the Daily Beast about people giving her flack about her weight. What I love about Meghan is she doesn't care. No. She's happy with who she is. Her boobs look fine. Don't get off Twitter, Meghan, because I follow you. You're really funny and you write some really great stuff.
Yeah, and I'm coming back today.
You inspire a lot of young women. So don't leave Twitter. Just block all those ignorant people.
Can you block them? And do they know that they get blocked?
I block them, yeah.
You see anyone who makes a negative comment, you block them. Do they get a notice that they've been blocked?
Probably not.
Let's try. I'll block you. You block me, and then we'll unblock each other and see if we get a notice.
See if we do.
Okay.
Wow.
Just stay on, Meghan.
It's too deep.
No, it's not. Just
First, there were 2 big breasts, and then we were blocking.
2 big
and unblocking. I mean, is there anything to be said for the picture? Maybe it was not the best picture for her to choose of herself?
I think now Meghan saw that you really got to think about what you post because you can't take it back. I think she was trying to have a lot of fun, but now she sees that, you are Meghan McCain, and that stuff will bite you in the boobs. It will come back. But a lot of, they're always telling her she should get a breast reduction, and she's happy with who she is.
Listen, they always tell you get a breast reduction, do something with your nose, get something with your butt. Be you.
Right. Yeah.
Be
Absolutely.
you. Speaking of being them, the White House is at war with Fox News these days. Obama senior advisor David Axelrod says they're not a news organization, and that White House communications director Anita Dunn says they're, quote, opinion journalism masquerading as news. Fox says the White House efforts would be better spent on issues concerning voters.
Yeah, there are a lot of issues right now which should probably be talked about more than this. But this certainly hasn't started right now. I mean, when President Obama was on the campaign trail, there was definitely a war of words between his campaign and Fox News. Now, to call them not a news station, I think you have to really critically look at all the news now. I think it's highly opinionated at all the stations. And I think anyone who thinks otherwise is completely wrong. I think that there are opinions out there. I mean, look, we've all seen it. But there were times when, say, CNN or MSNBC didn't cover victories that our troops had in Afghanistan or Iraq. They covered a percentage of other stories concerning, attacks on Republican candidates, more than that. So I think that to just aim at Fox News, I think we're kind of edging on McCarthyism, and I think that's dangerous.
I heard this morning that on one of the shows, it said that when Bush was in office, it was kind of like a sub rosa idea not to go on MSNBC if you were with him. So this is just a more overt tactic of stay off of Fox, rather than the Bush administration, which was more subversive. Typical.
I don't understand why they would say that. That's one I'm a little confused about why they would wage this war on Fox. I mean, I know Fox gives a lot more attention to stuff that I think is silly, is that birther movement stuff, which you had on your show on our HLN, that lady who's a dentist who led the birther movement.
Right. But they say that the Fox is really a wing of the Republican Party rather than being a news organization, that it's a mindset. And that's why they object to it. And they have every right to say what they say. The question is it effective? Is it effective?
No, I don't think it will be. In fact, I think it will call attention to the fact that they seem to be defensive and afraid of someone coming out and speaking up against the administration. And if that happens to happen on Fox and it doesn't happen to happen on CNN or MSNBC, I think we need to look at it objectively.
I think at some point that there are times, and we've talked about this, where Fox is not doing themselves any good because their point would be better served if they make the point, as opposed to some of the things that they tend to do, which is put stuff on top and they layer it, as opposed to saying, listen, this is what he's doing, we think it sucks.
This happens on, let's be honest, this happens at CNN, it happens at MSNBC.
But we're just talking, well, right now we're just talking about Fox. That's why I'm talking specifically about Fox. I don't get my news oftentimes from any of the networks because, you know, I'm from the Walter Cronkite generation where they told you what was going on and you were left to make your decision. You were left to figure it out. How do I feel about this? Do I like this? It wasn't, this is what they're doing and you're going to die. It wasn't, you didn't get that.
You know, partly this new way of doing it is driven by ratings. I mean, it used to be that the news organizations didn't care about ratings. Now they do, which is why we saw that flying saucer for 3 hours, because they knew that people were riveted to the tube.
It's all about money.
So
unfortunately.
Fox wants ratings, and you know, and I think that this is not something that they're defensive. I think it's an offensive attack. As a matter of fact, they're on the offense against Fox.
Silence someone who may have someone on that might speak out against them because you won't find it in other news stations.
No, but they're not silencing them. First of all, it's backfiring already because Glenn Beck's numbers are up and Fox's numbers are up. So it's not really working. But those people who watch that channel are going to continue to watch it no matter what.
Let's be really clear about this. When we talk about Fox, we're not talking about Fox Television, okay? Yeah. There is Fox News and there is Fox Television. Yeah. Fox Television has The Simpsons and...
So you think you can dance.
American Idol, and So You Think You Can Dance. And Fox News has the news.
Is this the news?
Like MSNBC.
Exactly.
It's equal to that.
What about, let me ask you this. Don't you think that in a way it's sort of edging on an attempt at censorship? Like, I certainly think it could end that way.
They're not saying no one can watch it. They're saying we're not going to deal with you. That's what you can't turn it into McCarthyism or censorship. It is about the president and his group saying, we're not going to fool with you anymore.
Asking others to do the same, though, is
it's the
a
same
step further.
But as Joy pointed out, it's the same that Bush did when he was dealing with a lot of folks. He'd say, you know, you don't need to go on CNN. You don't need to do it.
Wasn't out there in the same way.
But being out there is a form of advertisement or if you ask someone not to do something, if our president and his administration asks us not to watch a certain channel.
I don't know that they're saying that.
He asked us if he could come into our schools, and people, you know, there were some people who said, no, we're not going to have our kids in.
In any case, you haven't asked if we're coming back, but we are.
Are we?
Oh, yeah, we're coming back. And all of us are going to be right here when you come out the bathroom. Right. You'll see. More Hot
Topics. I had my ex-husband, who happens to play guitar in a rock and roll band, give my son, a 16-and-a-half-year-old, the sex talk. What was I thinking?
I'm always around these moms who say to me at the park, my child doesn't own a television. They know Italian and Mandarin. Well, my kid just learned English, and he barely knows that. So this Saturday, I was sleeping, and I was tired. So I gave my son a remote control. I showed him how he could get Yo Gabba Gabba, the Fresh Beat Band, and Dora the Explorer. That's my mom confession.
Joy.
Yes, ma'am.
You have this insane lineup this week on your new show, do you not?
My new show at 9 o'clock on HLN every night. I have this great lineup this week. Well, first of all, we're doing a panel with divorced women, including Marla Maples and the woman whose husband left her for Tory Spelling, and Mrs. McGreevy, who he left her for a gay guy. Oh, yeah. Wow. Wendy Williams is coming on. She's very funny. Gorby Dahl. It's a very interesting potpourri. Ann Coulter, one of my favorite guests, and Susie Essman, one of my very close girlfriends. She's hilarious. So this is some week we're having. I hope you'll watch.
Well, what time?
9 o'clock on HLN and repeats at midnight.
Well, here's the interesting thing, because romance, a daily news article says despite the Letterman scandal, workplace romances can work. If you're cautious, they say, remember to keep personal dramas out of the workplace, and warn that if one person is more powerful than the other, it could probably get a little bit out of hand. And I wonder if any of those women had that experience. But, Sherry, you seem to think that this is a good idea.
Well, no,
what they're saying.
Because it was also saying that don't rule out having a workplace romance, because so many people work together for a long period of time that this is where you could possibly meet
kind of like
your mate.
Submarine people?
No, we were talking about married men on the submarines, but if you're the single men, yeah, you could meet, you know, as you're broaching up close. But they were saying you could possibly meet your mate at work. You work, but over here at The View, it's not, because everybody's married over here.
Yeah.
So it's
But I mean, where else are you supposed to? I'd like to know where else you can meet men. You're supposed to meet them. You meet them in college.
Well, people always laugh
because we're always here with everybody.
When you hear that actors hook up on a movie. That's how it happens. Because you're together all the time.
So if you're married, then the wife should be on that movie set for a minute, right?
It doesn't matter. She's not in the scene. You're not making out with your wife. You see, there's a thing that happens when you are working in movies.
Right. How do you separate?
It's very difficult to do. It's very hard to do.
That's what I'm asking.
But 97% of the people actually do. They're actually able to do it. It's that 2% who happen to be very famous that everybody hears about. But it doesn't, you know.
There's a level of fantasy when you're making a movie. It's like frozen reality. For this period of time, it's not real. Nothing's real. We're on this set together. But a job goes on and on and on.
And it's also a fantasy. I mean, we come in and we think, okay, everything's going to be perfect today. Yeah, and sometimes it's a little...
But, like, if Bill Getty, he's married, but let's say Bill Getty was not married. Yeah. I'm a talk show co-host.
Bill Getty was not married, you still wouldn't be going out with him. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, you know, power is attractive, okay? So Bill Getty is not married. I'm just taking out the wife for a minute. And we were to date. Is there any way I could advance in the job that I'm in, Bill?
Well, pretty much you might have to come over here then. Because in order to get to advance, you got to get me out of my gig. So maybe you need to be talking to me, baby.
This is why
I am not married.
Bad.
I'm just saying.
So the only way I could go, the only raise I could get is a moderator position.
Because the next place is his.
The only place is for Barbara. I'd have to take Barbara out
have to take a little business with Barbara.
See what I mean? The relationship then spreads. It seeps into other areas, a.k.a. Whoopi.
The point is that he has power, and therefore it's not advisable to have an affair with someone you work with who has more power than you do. Because it can be construed as, you know, favoritism. And then when the thing breaks up, believe me, the guy in charge is going to still be there, and you're going to be jealous.
You know, you have to be careful being friends with your boss, too. I mean, people's minds, yes, because if you become friendly with somebody who is in charge, they start to go, well, why is she always talking to him? And if anything good happens, it's like, well, you know why that happened, don't you?
But I like going to dinner with Bill. We have a good time when we go out at dinner. He takes me out to dinner. We have such a great time. But if she's not a stop,
she's like, Bill, about that moderator chair. Here's a roll.
Here's where I'm going with this. We're going to go, and then we're going to come right back, and if Sherry's here, she's here. We'll be right back.
All right, Super Tease time again. I am here with all the producers. See them? Good. On Tuesday, what do we have? Julia Stiles, Bill Pullman, Audrey.
They are doing a revival of the play Oleana, which talks about a college professor and a student and sexual harassment. Very intense.
All right, Glenn Close, go. Dusty.
Glenn is actually coming with her sister. You'll find out why. And we're going to talk to her about her recent Emmy win for Damages.
Jamie, the two gay guys from Modern Family.
Eric Stone Street, Jesse Tyler from the hilarious ABC comedy Modern Family. And we'll find out why the show is really important to one of them.
Lily Tomlin.
Lily Tomlin's coming on to talk about a new show and if she's going back to Desperate Housewives.
And we'll have the next couple eliminated from Dancing with the Stars.
Martha Stewart.
Domestic diva Martha Stewart is throwing a Halloween party. It should be very spooky and over-the-top fabulous.
Mad Men star Elisabeth Moss is coming on to talk about her hit show, what it was like working with Whoopi a few years ago in a movie, and what she thinks of her fiancé's portrayal of Joy on Saturday Night Live.
You know, last week, Rush Limbaugh was dropped from a team looking to buy the NFL St. Louis Rams. And he says Reverend Al Sharpton was a major factor in stopping him. He goes on to accuse Sharpton of stirring up racial outrage of his own in the past. Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
It's like the
yes, you know, but is that the only reason that it happened? Because Al Sharpton said no? How much power does Al Sharpton have?
Yeah, I think it comes down to a lot of the time money and sales and what you think people will do in terms of ticket sales, jersey sales. You know, I have had 3 family members, one still in the NFL. At the base of it, it is a lot. I mean, look, it's a lot of fun. It's an adrenaline rush. You get really involved, and it's a good time. But it's also a business, so you have that aspect of it. And look, I think that there are minority owners, and what that means is that
Yes, explain that so people
It's a little
understand.
complicated. So you have like one main owner of every team, okay? Right. And then that's the majority owner. And then you have, say they bought like 60% of it. You have the 40% owned by a bunch of different people. So that majority owner goes out and seeks other people to help them buy the team. But they don't make any decisions, okay? They're essentially powerless. It's just fun and cool to own a team. Right. Yes. Okay. So then you have people like, say, J-Lo, Fergie, who have all had, Gloria Stefan, who have all had controversial comments, maybe not Gloria, but, you know, you take the lyrics to J-Lo, some of her songs are Fergie in the Black Eyed Peas songs, and they call, you know, the CIA terrorists and all of this. If it is about someone's comments preventing them from owning a team,
okay, but
why isn't it across the board?
J-Lo did a song where she used the N-word. It was called I'm Real. Yeah. And she said the N-word. And, you know, I'm not saying she got a black pass or anything like that, but I think it's very different from Rush Limbaugh when he makes comments all the time. When he says to somebody, the NAACP should have riot rehearsal. They should get a liquor store and practice robberies. In the 1970s, he told a black caller, take the bone out of your nose and call me back. That's very different from J-Lo, who was dating a black man at the time that she wrote the song, who was P. Diddy, using the N-word, and people that she's hung around with.
But
very
Roger
different.
Goodell, the head of the NFL, himself said that divisive comments are not welcome in the NFL. Aren't those all by nature then divisive?
You know, he's got...
I'm sorry. Yes, they are divisive. But I suspect that the reason Rush is getting all of the attention is because he is divisive probably every other day, as opposed to a couple of J-Lo songs, which you can choose to play or not play. And you can choose to listen to Rush if you want to or not also. But I think it's because he's ever present that that the focus is on him in a way that it wouldn't be on J-Lo. You know, J-Lo, I'm sure when she listens... Like we all do. We listen to the stuff where we see the stuff that we did when we were, like, really into somebody, and you go, oh, my God. You know, I'm sure those are not the songs she'd be singing now.
They're not, you know, I just think Rush Limbaugh, his comments are very dangerous because I think it spreads an air of it could be a fear. Sure. He just spreads this air, whereas I think if you're talking about a J-Lo,
the difference here's why I think Rush didn't get the position at base point, okay? Because people are going to say things that no one agrees with and might scare one person and not the other, et cetera, okay? Everyone knows what Rush is about. Everyone knows what Fergie from Black Eyed Peas is about, pretty much, okay? They both said things that offend people. He said something about the NFL when trying to own a piece of the NFL. No, he said something about the Donovan McNabb. He made a comment. He made a comment saying that the NFL. This was his comment. And look, it's his opinion, and he's
he said
here
the
it is.
Media, right?
Yeah, he said the NFL, in parentheses, interested in black coaches and black quarterbacks and doing well. I think there's little hope invested in McNabb, and he's got a lot of credit for the performance of his team that he didn't deserve. But I think here's the thing: if you're looking to get a piece of something, and then you don't get it because you made a bad comment about them. That's why.
I just have to say this. Donovan McNabb is a great quarterback. He doesn't forget about. He's great whether he's black, white, Asian, Hawaiian. It doesn't matter. Rush, you were wrong, dog.
But that's not the only comment that he made about Donovan. You're reading the nice comment. You're reading the nice comment. You're not reading the one where he said
he could do that himself. And I would say this. I know Donovan. Tim played under Donovan. He played with him at Philadelphia. Not only is he an exceptional quarterback, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Okay?
And regardless of color.
It's about the money.
Regardless of color.
One time a caller called Rush on the air, and he made the point that more African Americans should be heard on his show. And Rush said, they're 12% of the population, so who the hell cares? Well, not even 12% of the population listens to Rush, so who the hell cares?
Yeah, but I would be... we have to...
You know?
It's a good talk.
You know who cares? We care. But not that much. So we're going to go and come right back. We'll be right back.
Joined forces with President Obama to celebrate people who volunteer their time to make this country a better place. So we asked you to nominate the greatest volunteer you knew, and we have the winner in our audience today. Please welcome Tom Gibson and the man who nominated Tom, his friend Tim Minton. Hey, guys. Congratulations, Tom. So, Tim, I got to ask you, why did you decide to nominate Tom?
Well, Tom shows the heart of our home building industry, and his leadership across the country and providing homes for people all over our country is just phenomenal.
And, Tom, now you started building the homes in 2002. How many homes have you built as of today for people?
We've built close to 1,000 nationwide so far.
Wow. For people who were displaced. And when you found out that you won, what was your reaction?
Well, to tell you the truth, I expected to hear it early in the day, and I didn't hear it till late in the day. So I thought I was going to win, but by the end of the day, I was totally surprised.
Well, speaking of winning, Michael Troy is here in our audience. He's the director of marketing for Starwood Hotels. Can you please tell Tom what he has won?
Well, we're very excited. Tom has done some tremendous work in his volunteer efforts, and on behalf of Starwood Hotels and Resorts in Hawaii, and our 4 major brands there, we have Sheraton, Westin, Luxury Collection, and the new St. Regis. Tom has been awarded on behalf of our Starwood Preferred Guests, the #1 customer loyalty program for the hotel industry. 1 million star points.
All right. What is that? For the normal people. What does that mean?
Well, Tom can actually come live in Hawaii now at this point. We're very excited. Tom has the opportunity to use these points to come out and visit our 11 hotels and resorts on 4 major islands. And these points can be used for his hotel stays. He can use them towards air flights to get to Hawaii. He can use them towards activities and events. He can use it towards all sorts of things, including sharing it with people who nominate you for wonderful awards such as this.
Or co-hosts who are looking for a nice vacation time. Isn't that right, Sharon?
I'll just take a night of sleep at this point.
Right.
We have that, the Sheraton Suite Sleeper and the Heavenly Bed from Westin. So we've got it all for you.
Heavenly Bed, that's great. Everybody in our audience is taking home a bag filled with Bliss Bath products, and we're going to be right back.
I'm Bill Getty. YouTube has been taking you behind the curtain and showing you what happens around here before, during, and after the show.
It's the best vlog in the world. I go to it every day. This is our favorite vlog.
I watch the show every day.
You
when
do?
I'm running on the running machine. Why do you like doing our show?
Free mugs.
Don't take my word for it. Go to our website now and check out YouTube, as well as a lot more stuff you can't see on TV. It's 24/7 online. So log on now to abc.com/theview.
So, Elizabeth, what's it feel like? Is it take a little bit to get your chops back up? Because you felt like you were right here, like you hadn't left. And
Well,
it was great.
I missed you all, so this is fun, but I'm so tired, and I need a nap.
Are you still breastfeeding?
No, not that I can recall. No, I'm not breastfeeding anymore. I'm formula and practicing strict birth control methods right now.
When you first had Grace, you said you wanted to have 5. I guess that plan is off.
Yeah, I was wrong about that plan, and I will admit, semi-delirious, though not as delirious as I am right now.
Do you have sympathy for Kate Gosselin and the Octomom now? And
look, I think 3 has rocked our world. We adore this little baby, but he's our grand finale. No more.
Yeah, grand finale. So is this our grand finale. Take a little time to enjoy the view.